Hello, welcome back to OMSI. Today we are here in the Digibus Mirage, also known as the Optare Solo, and we're going to be taking a drive on Westcountry 3. This video is going to be more of a review on the bus, but obviously there will be driving in the background, and we're going to be doing the 1B, or in my own custom half, I've named it the 1. Yeah, the 1. So yeah, we're going to be driving the M850 today, which is the shorter one. It's 8.5 meters, which is very clever from up there, because you got the M850, which is 8.5 meters, and you got the 920, which is, you guessed it, 9.2 meters. Yeah, we've got LED Light Mod by Chloe Cross and Studio Polygon Hanover by B.G, which is currently work in progress. So that will come with Hanover and Flip Dot set vars for the M850 and the M920. Obviously, it will utilise all the different set vars that the Studio Polygon Renown does in terms of destinations. Also, I thought I might just point out this is a voiceover on the original video. I have already attempted to record this video twice now, three times now, because I've just tried again. The first time you might have already seen a bit of it, but I had to take it down because I wasn't happy with the audio. So I was really quiet and the bus was really loud, so you couldn't really hear what I was saying. And the second time, I forgot to press record. So I was just sat there talking to myself for like 8 minutes. And the third time, I did the exact same. And we're now on the fourth time, so hopefully this one goes well. So yeah, the Digibus Mirage, the Optare Solo, it's a bus we've all been wanting for a while, especially we've just really wanted a proper version of this bus that isn't imported from Midtown Madness 2. And arguably with that, you'd come with some sort of high expectations really, because it's the bus that's been longed for years. So you'd hope that it was good quality. Is it though? Well, I'm going to be talking about that throughout the video and my own personal opinions on the bus. And before you come at me and say, "Oh, you're not allowed to have an opinion. This is OMSI. You're getting this mod. He didn't have to make it for you." Well, arguably, I've paid $13.55 for this. It's a Payware product. I should be allowed to sort of express my opinions on the bus, because to put it frankly, I'm not best pleased with it. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the different aspects of the bus throughout the video. I've already published a review on Steam, so if you've not seen that, you can go and have a look at it. But in this video I'll sort of be going through that review and a bit more. Yeah, it is a bus I really did want to enjoy, because I've grown up with these buses, so obviously there's a lot of hope there that it would be much like they are in real life, and I wouldn't quite go as far as to say they are. Yeah, so firstly, the sounds. This is, again, my own opinion. To put it bluntly, they're dreadful. Again, yeah, there's a lot more that could be done. I think they were recorded on a Friday, and then by, I think, the Monday they were sent, like the whole bus was sent off to Aerosoft. And personally, I don't really think that's long enough. Well, especially for someone who's, I wouldn't say dreadful, but especially for someone who's sort of more new to OMSI sounds, I'd say that there is a lot longer that needs to be spent on sounds. I just don't really think it sounds too much like an Optare Solo. Stuff like the Allison 8545 gearbox sounds I was really looking forward to, because they are really iconic in real life, and I just don't really think they've done that well. in the Mirage. Sort of the fact it's got a Voith gearbox in OMSI, and is obviously a ZF in real, not ZF, it's Allison in real life. So when you're downshifting, you shouldn't hear all of that sort of going back down through the gears as you do when you're going up through the gears. It's sort of just doesn't do that. So yeah, the sounds, they were the part I was most looking forward to with this bus, and I've got to say I am majorly let down by them. And I think quite a lot of others have shared that same opinion. There's a lot more that could be done, and I think with the way it's going, I think that's going to have to be done through third-party mod, because originally V3D had said he wasn't quite happy with the sounds, he was going to be redoing them after release. But then it came to after release, and he said he'd edited them and he'd made them worse, so he was just going to keep them as they were and just make them louder because he thought they were too quiet. I think they were better before, to be honest. Now that they're louder, I just think, like, because I've recorded this 3 times now, and the first time when I was speaking at the same time as driving, when I watched back through it and when a few other people watched back through it, they couldn't hear me talk because the bus was that loud, and I just don't think that's how it should be. Again, opinions and all of that, but I just don't think the sounds were done that well. So moving on to the model next. It's not the worst, but it's absolutely not the best. It's sort of what you'd expect from V3D, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just sort of up to standard with the rest of his models. I think, well, again, I personally think that there's a lot of areas of the modelling that could be improved, and I know V3D has said like he's not up to scratch with the likes of Master Switch, Studio Polygon, all of the other sort of more renowned, get it, renowned, developers, and I've got to say I agree with that, because this bus sort of proves what he's just said. So yeah, back to the model, more, kind of. There's a lot of areas on the model that are fairly low poly when they don't really need to be. Arguably they need to be more higher poly, and then the sort of higher poly areas shouldn't really be higher poly. So I think he's sort of got that backwards a little bit. I've had a few people say to me that they don't really think it feels like you're driving in an Optare Solo when you're in the cab, and well, I can't really comment on that because I've never driven a bus in real life. Obviously I hope to within the next year, because I've just got to wait to finish 6th form and then I will go to apply for some bus companies, because I've already got my car licence. I just need to get my bus one, and then I can sort of go through all that process, and depending on the operator I might drive some Optare Solos, but who knows. So I can come back to you on that regard if it feels like driving a solo. Yeah, those comments have come from bus drivers that I'm friends with, and that's saying something. If they've driven Optare Solos and they say it's feel like driving an Optare Solo, that's not quite right, really, is it? And obviously there are like all the different specs. This might not be the exact spec they've driven, like all of that, but I think for the majority it is mostly the same. So the textures, I don't want to be horrible, but I'm not happy with the textures either. A lot of the default textures, they're just sort of paint bucketed colours onto a template, and with the way recent developers have been going, using like software such as Substance Beta to add more sort of depth onto the textures, I think sort of with the money he's made from his other DLC, which was the Digibus Phantom, if you've already forgotten, and obviously the sales, well, however many sales he gets from this, he could definitely invest in Substance Beta and just sort of make them textures better. But again, that's my opinion. if he doesn't want to, then that's his own personal choice, really, and I can't sort of force him to do anything, really. Nice exterior shot there. I don't know why I went into the exterior, but I did. There's Schmaldi again on the right. Yeah, the textures, stuff like the rear engine bay, that looks like it's been grabbed straight out of a YouTube video, and it's at like 144p, which obviously isn't what you'd expect from a product that costs $13.55. And I've seen quite a few debates that have been going on Discord and YouTube comments and Facebook and Steam, saying that this product isn't worth $13.55, and I've got to say I do agree with that. Sort of, what's the word? That viewpoint, because this is being charged for more than the likes of the Streetlight, the 400 OMSI, the Failing, even the G3 pack, which are all much better quality products compared to this, and they're available for 4 or 5 pence cheaper. Obviously that's not a lot, but it is at the same time, because arguably putting a product at a higher price than them means that you'd expect higher quality, but that's just not present in the Mirage, I'm sorry to say. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, the scripts and sort of the systems in the bus. I don't really know why a bus released in nearly 2023, Payware, is using Kruger. And if you don't know what Kruger is, it's the destination displays, so that's the LED and the flip dot that the bus comes with by default. And now obviously I'm using the Studio Polygon Hanover mod by B.G, and that makes it so much better. It's just not really acceptable to release a boss with Kruger. Like, I get that Kruger's open source, but to charge for it in a product, that's just not on at all. And I think a lot of people have brought up that same argument, and they're not happy with how that's been included. And a lot of the scripts, I know V3D asked for like some scripters to help him with this bus, and none sort of came forward. Although systems were offered by Studio Polygon, I do believe, V3D declined them, and that's why we're left with a Wayfarer 2 in a bus that wouldn't have had a Wayfarer 2. Kruger displays, having to literally click the coffee cup, oh my god, coffee cup, and it just appear, rather than in like the 400 OMSI for example. You have to drag the bottom down, drag the top up, and then click on the cup to put the cup, I can't speak, to put the cup there. With this you just sort of click it and it appears. Now obviously I know V3D's gone for a lot more gimmicks in this version, not in this version, in this bus, and I would argue that that's to try and get it up to the same standard as the Renown that released back in September, but I just don't think it's done a good job of doing that at all. And back onto the sounds here, because I remember here, default OMSI, there it is. No, not at all. Not in sort of a Payware product, again, bringing up that it's Payware, because V3D's excuse has been, oh, but I release freeware buses, so you can't shout at me. Well, I'm not shouting at you, I'm just displaying my opinions on your bus. Another thing about the sounds as well, when people have been complaining about the sounds, V3D's then gone to say that those people are super veg, and we should just go and record our own. Which, if I wanted to build my own thing, I'll go to Build-A-Bear, not buy a £13.50 OMSI DLC. It should come all together with, like, it's a simulation. It's meant to simulate real life features, that's in the name, but it just doesn't do that, arguably, with the Solo. yeah, back to the scripts. I think I was done with the scripts actually. What now? Oh yeah, how sort of the developers, how V3D's been acting on Discord. So leading up to the release of the Mirage, he released the Volvo Olympian in there for free. It was a alpha version, which I don't think he should have done personally, because knowing the OMSI community, they obviously didn't see the alpha tag. And yeah, that's never good, and I think it's the amount of backlash that he got from it that led him to delete it. But I just don't think it should have been released in that state, even as an alpha, even into a Discord server. And originally I'd thought it was sort of a plan, a scheme to get more people into the Discord server. But when masses of people started to join to get the bus, they sort of said, no, that's not what we want, we don't want more people joining to get this bus. Which is stupid, because if you're going to release a bus in a Discord server, a public Discord server, might I add as well, word is going to get round, people are going to join, people are going to want to get that bus. And that's not just because it's V3D, it's not dependent on the developer at all. It's just because a lot of the OMSI community just see it as a new bus rather than looking beyond that and seeing the features and everything else behind it. So I think that's sort of why V3D gets a lot of traction, because he does buses that particularly not anybody else would have really done. But arguably, if you're going to do that, make it good. Because that's just not been the case with this bus, I don't think. And the fact that his best bus, in my opinion, was the Volvo B7 TL. That was released before the Enviro 200 OMSI, I believe, which was his last freeware bus. And that E200 MMC has got much more features than the Solo, and he's not charging for the MMC. And this Solo is priced at $13.55, and to put it blunt, I can't swear because I'm going to have to bleep it out. It is awful. And I've said that again and again in my Steam review. So back to sort of V3D's behaviour, to put it that way. Yeah, the super veg thing, record your own sounds. Oh yeah, when people were sort of bad mouthing the Olympian and saying that after when the Mirage came out, saying that the Mirage wasn't good, the sounds aren't good, all of that people get banned, people getting muted, timed out, warned, kicked, all of that, for having an opinion, which is not on. People are entitled to have an opinion, especially for a Payware product that is being sort of charged for more than buses that are much higher quality than this. And V3D claims that he sort of asked for it to be a lower price, but that was only $12.50. I think it should have been the same price, if not lower, than the Digibus Phantom. Again, I know I keep saying this, but that is just my opinion. And obviously some people won't share that same opinion, but most people will. And those people who do just simply get kicked or banned from the server for having their opinion, which isn't on at all. Yeah, this isn't really something that a lot of OMSI users would use, but the Repaint templates are dreadful. I know it was sort of said that it's to make lining up the roof easier on the exterior, but that's what UV maps are for. They're included. You could set the templates out the same way you do with the rest of the buses and it'll be completely fine because you've included the UV maps. But no, having them half upside down, I don't think that's making anybody's life any easier. I think it just adds a lot more sort of to do. And the interior templates, I spent a couple of hours on at first, sort of working out where everything was. That included refreshing my textures in game about a million times to check if I'd put something on the right place. It could be a lot better. And I know I keep saying that, but I think with this bus we're going to have to be very reliant. There's an upside down car in that car park, not in that car park, petrol station. Yeah, I think we're going to have to be a lot more reliant on third-party mods for this bus, because pretty much the attitude of E3D stinks. When faced with like people reporting bugs, he's just sort of said, he's sort of given a snarky comment or just an excuse as to why that can't be fixed. And I say that he did amend one of my bugs, which I pointed out, which was that there was a CTC texture missing in the model CFG. And if you don't know what a CTC texture is, it basically means that if it's present in the model file, then it can be repainted. So as a repainter, I noticed that, and as a repainter, I reported that to V3D, and it was fixed in version 1.1 to be fair, so respect for that. But again, with 1.1, I don't think it should have been 1.1. I'd argue that that's sort of more reserved for bigger updates, and all you've really done in this is make the sounds louder and amend a couple of textures, which isn't massive update worthy in my opinion. So yeah, again, if you want to shoot me for having this opinion, then well, that's your choice. It is a Payware product, and arguably I'm an end user, so I should be entitled to my own opinion. But I'm sure there's a lot of others that share the opinions that I've sort of put across in this video. Ticket machine as well, I've just seen, I don't think it operates as it should. So when you press a ticket, it prints on its own, whereas surely it would be when you press a ticket, you then have to press enter and then it would print. I've had a lot of trouble with that when I've sort of been dispensing tickets, because yeah. Would I recommend this bus? Not in its current state, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot that could be done to make this bus worth the 1355, but I just don't believe it's all there at the moment. I was originally going to be doing a huge sort of repaint pack for this bus with lots of different operators, all of that, but I'm sort of uncertain as if that's still going to happen now. After the sort of, I don't want to say negligence, but after the negligence of the developer, after him sort of ignoring the comments, the feedback, just responding with arguably sarky attitude, I just don't think it's on. But yeah, I'm sorry for going on a rant during this video, but that's just my opinion on the bus. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.